Good evening, and welcome back to Let's Play Total War Shogun 2 Rise of the Samurai. Currently, Norioki is attacking the Watanabe, the traitorous bastards, and as you can see, earlier on in this Let's Play, I mentioned that it's a very rookie mistake to split your forces when you gain no definitive advantage from doing so, and that is exactly what I have done in this situation, so I apologize in advance for the fact that this gets a little bit messy. So, at the moment, we've got Norioki and Naginata attendants up front, some Nagi Levy as reserve, and some Bow Warrior Monks and Bow Levy in the back. Not a particularly large force, and as you can see, the Watanabe have a very large number of troops, a full stack led by multiple generals. Now, over here, coming from the north, you can see the Tyra reinforcements absolutely flooding in. We will have a complement of 37 units out of a 40 possible against a defending force of 20, so we definitely have an enormous numbers advantage, but unfortunately most of them are untested levy, which means that their morale's a little bit dicey, and we're going to have some problems if Norioki does die. However, we do have some veteran Naginata warrior monks in amongst here, 3 units of them in fact, and so they should be able to provide a lot of punch. Now, the issue here, and you can just see the computers readjusting and coming to skirmish, the issue here is that when you have more than 20 units on the field, if you're running in 1080p, the bars, which happen down the bottom here, the unit cards, which everyone should be familiar with, you'll have seen them in the live combats or in the game itself if you have a copy, is that when there's more than 20 on the field, they shrink to half size and they double up. So each unit card location, in fact, has 2 unit cards. Now the issue is that doesn't just stack across the bottom like you'd expect and then stack across the top. It seems to be a bit random as to which unit has what location. So instead of your units being organized left to right in the control groups you have, they instead get broken up into strange L shapes. If there's 3 units, it makes an L shape and then takes another 3 unit L shape and drops it on the top, and so your whole combat bar gets completely out of whack and you can't really tell which unit is which is a problem, but it's important to remember that when this game was released, 20 units was the cap. They didn't expect this engine to ever handle 40 units under the control of one person at once. So it works quite well a lot of the time. The main issue though is you start to rely on line of sight a lot more, on being able to see what your units are doing. And as you can see from over here, where I'm busily deploying my army into a battle line really, you can't see what's happening up here, and vice versa from over here, where I can't see what's happening with my army, so I'm forced to rely on this combat map, but unfortunately that really doesn't tell you very much. Now, the computer's going to come and skirmish with their general, which is a bit of a pain, because quite frankly, I'm outbowed here. I don't have the firepower to take their general out in a timely manner without taking a lot of damage, or indeed possibly even take him out at all. So instead, I'm forced to be very aggressive with my attendants, and I'm going to try to catch him. Now, the computer is pretty good at running away with their cavalry, but the one thing that they don't really factor in very well is rapid advance, which of course these Naginata attendants do have. So the computer will move to disengage shortly, but I'll pop rapid advance, and the computer tries to get an extra volley or 2 off, and then we'll usually attempt to disengage about now, but we've just hit melee combat. Now, as you can see, they've whittled us down quite effectively, actually. We're down 20 Naginata attendants, and their generals, admittedly, he's down to half, but now they're going to pull him out, and of course I have to let that happen. I don't have the forces to push. So this is where splitting your forces is a bad idea, because I don't have the numbers to back up any pushes I make, and so I'm really forced to let them dictate the pace of the battle, even though they're the defenders, and that's just a poor idea all around. And of course, while I'm busy trying to keep this guy alive and not routing and doing all this dancing and skirmishing up here, I can't control these guys because of the UI limitations and the fact that I can't really see them doing their thing. If I had any sense, if I'd played this properly, I would have just deployed my force here and then marched with this entire force, you know, up, because this is a nice wide lip. There's plenty of room. The hill is steep, but I don't have to sprint up the hill. I can just walk up the hill, use the monks. We all saw the power of the monks in the last few videos, and just punch a hole clean through those levy and come right out the other side without stopping. Unfortunately, I didn't do it, and so Norioki's final battle is, well, a bit of a disaster, really. Now, we did get, there was a slight benefit. We killed their general, so they are down a general, which will hurt their morale, and I believe at this point now their general is dead. I'm moving my control force up here. Now, I'm not planning on skirmishing with the bow levy, because there's really not much point. We'll just bring the whole army up. So this is the problem that I have at the moment, and the computer, sorry about that, has done the same thing, brought another general out, skirmishing, and these Nagi attendants are basically shot up. There's not much combat effectiveness left in them. They will be too panicky away from the general, so I have to deploy the next unit of Nagi attendants. And there's just, it's just poor, basically. This is what happens. I'm getting shot to pieces. I don't have any decisive advantage in this combat group, and sometimes you don't have a choice. In field battles, you may have to deploy on one side of the field and your reinforcements come from the north or the south and you're deploying on the east or the west. But in this case, in a siege, I could have deployed anywhere around this town, so really I should have just deployed to the north. Now, I'm worried that this force is just going to get overrun, because at this point they could detach half of their army, charge, and clean me up. No problems. And while I would take the town, because I'd tie them up for long enough that the town would be taken with this force, I'd lose most of my troops, if not Norioki as well. Yeah, it's ugly, guys. It's ugly. I do apologize. Now, one thing that is funny is the computer will often run its troops around trying to defend every angle, which will tire them out, and this is helpful with Levy. Unfortunately, because I desperately need to finish this, because this has just been the stupidest fight, I'm running my troops clean up the hill, and I'm just going to have to rely on the fact that even if exhausted, these Naginata warrior monks are more than a match for these Levy, which is actually true. Even with the exhaustion penalties, their morale is higher, their melee attack is higher, their melee defense is higher, their charge bonus is higher, their armor is higher, they've got war cry. It's just, they're flat out better troops. And the other thing, of course, is we have war cry. We can get a charge off, we can get in there, we can slam war cry, we can chain route them and just clean the whole side up. So, as we can see, I've actually lost a unit. Where has it gone to? There's, none of them left. It's red. Oh, no, it's an enemy fleeing unit. Never mind. I believe one of my unit routes. Possibly that 38. These guys here, I believe they route. Computer's sending forces in now. Doesn't really matter. Up here, we've got exhausted Levy, exhausted Nagi warrior monks. As you can see, we've already shattered these guys. I believe it was Warcry that did that, but the computer's just gonna try to form a battle line, but really with their general dead, being charged from all sides, yeah, they just get collected up. Warcry, these guys are going to go in a few seconds, there they go. And now with friendlies routing and the general dead, there's just nothing you can do to hold Levy. These guys could be toothless grandmothers, and the Watanabe would still all run away, so it's not too much of a problem, really. Not a glorious fight. On the other hand, go the monks. The monks got exhausted and 60 kills. Only monks can do that. Only monks. 75 kills. Just look at that number tick up. It's just magnificent. And that's it. That's the chain route, and the fight is over. The rebellion has been crushed brutally by sheer numbers. There was no skill in that. We just brought so many more men. They just never had a chance. Which, I guess, is a good analogue for the Tyro, really. We've got a shed load of firepower, so don't fuck with us. Thanks for watching, everyone. I hope you enjoyed it.